Welcome to the BetMoorSports podcast. I'm your host, Avery Fuller, with my co-host, Steven Troutman Bay, a.k.a.
The Guru.
And we back at it again. We miss y'all. Y'all miss us. We here. No matter what you say, we are here forever. Football season is over. For the NFL. Not for the XFL. It just started. But we missed the Super Bowl. We ain't had that conversation yet. So we're going to have it right now, as a matter of fact. Guru, the Chiefs is the Super Bowl champions. What are your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
It was a hell of a game, in my opinion. Went just the way I expected. Chiefs in the over. You know. Got a lot of flack from my Eagle fans, man, for picking the Chiefs, but I just picked who the signs say going to win.
But, you know, Eagles fans get delusional to the point that they probably said the Chiefs only won because you picked them.
And if that's the case, then, hey, subscribe to BetMoorSports.com.
Hey, Guru got the script.
I told you that on the Guru and his woman.
Man, listen, it's crazy because you told me on the Guru and the Swami, you was like, pick everything over.
Mm-hmm.
And all the way down to the coin toss. They put tails, and it was tails. Drive me crazy. I say gracious. But let's talk about the game overall, Guru. What you think about the game and top performer?
Top performer. Actually, the top performer, in my opinion, was Jalen Hurts. You know, besides the fumble, I think Jalen Hurts played a perfect game.
He definitely showed that he belonged. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest questions that he had last year coming into this season was if he can sustain his play. And he proved that that's a given. Now they're talking about getting him $50 million a year or some shit similar. I don't know. You think he worth it?
Yeah, I think he need to prove a little more, maybe one more season of proving it. Then, yeah.
If y'all can see the Guru looking to the left, it's because he's sweating.
Sweating, man.
Is sweating.
Like
sweating bullets.
These people look like they're going to give me a heartbreak hotel at the end of the night.
Oh, man, they ain't scolded in a whole minute.
I ain't even talking about them.
Gracious.
I'm on this Cleveland and Boston game.
Listen, all I know is sweating for a reason. That means there's money involved. That's all I can say to that. But Super Bowl wise, I feel like it was a conspiracy. I feel like Patrick Mahomes, he played them. You know, he had everybody thinking that he might not come back because he was hurt. He limped to the sideline, screamed to the top of his lungs, and then ran inside the locker room. I don't know what the hell training team he got or what the hell they did. They must have switched his leg out or something. But whatever it was, the second half, my man did a full-fledged sprint. So, I don't know. It was a good game as I hoped for. I didn't have a pony in the race, so it didn't really matter to me who won. But
good shot, Darius Garland, boy. That was my over.
There you go, sweating. He's
Cha-ching.
sweating.
If you had the NBA top plays, then you just got a deadbolt lock without a loser on the site.
Nothing like deadbolt lock.
Yeah, so now we can podcast, man. And be ready, man. We got late night sweating with the Guru coming soon, man. We gonna sweat live just like I'm sweating now, and we're gonna sweat live on the games that I'm gonna give you for free on the late night tip.
So make sure you tune in. He's a funny guy when he's sweating, bro. I'm telling you. Gracious. All right, so we all know the Chiefs won. I heard a lot of people say that, you know, Patrick Mahomes already top 2, top 3 ever. Guru, how you feel about that?
Quarterback?
Yeah.
Top 2? Nah. Top 3? Maybe not. Top 5, definitely. Already.
So you think that right now, if he stopped playing football right now, period, he'll be top 5 ever?
Yeah, according to resumes, hell yeah. Name 5 quarterbacks with a better resume than Pat Mahomes right now.
I mean, that's a lot of thinking. I'm gonna be honest. You know what
I'm just saying, off the top of your head, name 5. I don't even need you to really think. I just need you to give me 5 that you would say has a resume that stacks up. We talking about, yards per season, touchdowns, championships. I really don't want to count because that really puts them past a whole lot of people when you talk championships. But we got to talk it. MVPs, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl MVPs, All Pros, Pro Bowls. Like right now, his resume stacks up to damn near anybody in the history, and he ain't played started 5 years?
Let me ask you this question: does this script conspiracy impact that at all?
I don't know. I don't know who he paid for this. Be the top dog on the script.
Hey, he the perfect face, right? He mixed. He black and white. You know what I'm saying? He the perfect person to move the league in the direction that they may want to go. So it varies, man. But I don't know, that script stuff is crazy. But Patrick Mahomes is definitely earned his place. I do feel like it's too early because I feel like, and while it might be highly unlikely, how does it impact his legacy, hypothetically speaking? Let's say he don't have no more good years after this and he go on to play for 12 years.
So, even if that's the case, right, you would consider Aaron Rodgers one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, correct? A lot of people would. I'm not sure if you would, but I know most people got him at least top 10.
Okay.
Right? So even if he was to retire now, he got more championships than Aaron Rodgers, more Super Bowl MVPs than Aaron Rodgers. And he been to, 5 Pro Bowls and made the All-Pro team, 4 or 5 times?
Right. But
in 5 years.
I think consistency matters. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I'm not saying that this is what happened, but I think if a player come into the game at the right time, right, where things can happen the right way in that moment, and then the moment you switch off and, it's not what it was or not what he came into, and then he fall off after that change, then you got to kind of ask yourself, was it him or was it the system or was it, the personnel?
Right.
So I feel like consistency make a difference. One of the reasons Aaron Rodgers is in that conversation the way he is because of the consistency. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers got a complete body of work while Patrick Mahomes got a quarter of a body of work. That's why I say.
But I'm saying if he retired now, his body is complete.
You think 6 years is enough to complete a body of work? Like, we're comparing him to legends who went years and years and years of doing it consistently.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
what I'm saying is if you do it for 6 years consistently, then that's a body of work if you retire today. That's just like if Aaron Donald said he wants to retire. If he retired now, he's done it for, 10 years, 8 years?
I think he had 10, I believe. But that's 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So I'm saying Pat Mahomes can have 4 more years, and they don't have to be the Pat Mahomes that we've seen. And if he can do that for 4 more years and retire 10 years, his resume will still stack up to damn near everybody's.
Absolutely. I was speaking from the now perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say he need a couple more years to be in that conversation from a consistency standpoint. It don't mean that he won't, and it's highly likely that he will. But I want to see that first. As you can see, players can fall off. And I ain't saying Russell Wilson was completely on, but he had a complete drop-off. And, it ain't like he Tom Brady age. You know what I'm saying? So it varies, but we'll see. We'll see. As of this moment, though, he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Completely.
Right.
So, all right, let's get some more NFL information out there. Guru, a Giants fan. And y'all got a slight dilemma. He's been having good years all years between the Knicks and the Giants. The Yankees, we got damn Aaron Judge back, and man, you've been having a good sports year, even though it ain't been like what we
Don't forget
wanted
my
to be.
Knickerbockers and my Rangers looking good too.
Yeah, see, that's man.
I drink to that.
Let me ask you this, Guru: who is the more important asset in New York? The priority, Saquon or Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is more important than Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Daniel Jones nowhere near is comparable to Saquon Barkley. What I'm saying is if we look at the Super Bowl winners, you need a franchise quarterback more than you need a franchise running back. Right? Mm-hmm. The last I would say franchise running back to win a Super Bowl was probably Terrell Davis. That I could think of. Like, we can say Edgerrin James when he won it with Indianapolis. I can go with him. But who else? New England didn't have one. Tampa Bay didn't have one. Kansas City didn't have one, and neither of their 2 Super Bowls recently.
Yeah, but you still got, sweetness.
I'm talking about the last. That's why I say the last is probably Edgerrin James or Terrell Davis.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that it's never happened because we had Emmitt Smith, we had Walter Payton, we had guys of that nature, but we had far more great running backs that never won a championship.
Why is that? Like, why do you think you think running backs are overused?
I think they're overused, but I think that in today's game, it's no longer a running game. It's a passing league, 100,000% a passing league. You need a solid running attack, but in today's NFL, running backs come a dime a dozen. Right. That's just the harsh reality. That's why running backs' livelihood don't last past 29 years of age, while quarterbacks is playing right now. You look at Tom Brady till he's 45 years old. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not valued.
But I think
like they were valued when we had, Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders and Eric Dickinson and all them great Walter Paytons, all them greats in the league at the time. The running back position was of value. Now it's not.
I think a part of that, though, is because they put so much emphasis on the quarterback. They invested so much into the quarterback as far as from rule changes to money and all of that. Like, they put so much on the quarterback's shoulders that you kind of got to focus on that. If you're paying the man this much, $50 million a year, you got to focus on him.
Absolutely.
So I get it.
I hope we can keep them both, honestly, to be honest.
I don't see that not happening for y'all.
I see it happening, but it's just going to take some work. We need both of them, let me say that. But if one got to go, it would be the running back because you can drop the running back or you can pick up a running back.
So do you think Daniel Jones can actually take y'all to the promised land?
Nah, I don't. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he can. He got the tools and he got the coaches to get it out of him. He need help around him. Like, you do need a wide receiver to throw the ball to. If you don't need a wide receiver, you need a tight end.
Right, okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you need something other than Daniel Jones, but you do need a quarterback.
Right.
More than you need a running back.
So let me ask you this question then. And this is a hypothetical. I know how you feel about hypotheticals. Would you take Bryce Young over Daniel Jones?
No. Bryce Young ain't proved nothing in the NFL yet.
Okay. And you think Daniel Jones have based on last year alone? Or?
Not necessarily. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones has proved anything in the league, but last year was a good start, especially when you're talking about you got a new GM, a new coach, and you keeping everything intact really for the first time in his career. Is all the pieces in place coming back the same as was. Gotcha.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. And I think it's only right to kind of give him some more time to, show what he's capable of. I personally don't feel like, I feel like he's overrated. but I feel like he had a good year last year.
How is he overrated? Nobody ever said he was shit.
If I recall, when the playoffs hit, when y'all won that game, they gassed him up like a goddamn.
No, he
Land
earned that right, but to say he's overrated, I think is a bit not an accurate statement.
They talking about him getting paid $35 to $40 million a year.
That's just based upon the market. That's what the market value called for. If the market value called for it, then you supposed to get your money inside the market value. Like, I can't be mad at that. What I'm saying is, for you to go out here and say that you want more money than Pat Mahomes, you need to kind of chill with that type of shit. But
Right, yeah.
for you to want to be paid well within the market, because just think about it. If they franchise tag him, they got to pay him in that market.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if you franchise me for a year or two and I go out and I play better than I played this year, because 15 touchdown passes ain't cutting it.
Right.
Pat Mahomes type money. Like,
for a franchise quarterback, in my opinion.
I just think that Deshaun Watson fucked the market up.
Yeah, he
ruined
it.
Quarterbacks. Like, nobody knows the set market number no more because of Deshaun Watson.
Cleveland. It was Cleveland.
It was both of them. It definitely was Cleveland because Cleveland was so thirsty for a quarterback that they say, man, take the let me back the Brinks truck up to your garage and
they
drop off a bag.
They seen them about to go to Atlanta, and it was like, nope, we're not taking no for an answer. They damn sure ain't taking. They ain't give him no damn
Atlanta
choice.
just cut Marcus Mariota.
Damn, I ain't even know that.
Yeah, he's out of here.
That's crazy. And I think he did well, man, for the cards he was dealt. I mean, I ain't saying he was the worst. He wasn't the best, but he definitely wasn't the worst. All right. Speaking of overrated, most overrated quarterback of the season.
Of the season?
Of the season. And I don't want to factor in contracts.
Oh, because I was going to say Deshaun Watson.
Really?
If not him, Kyler Murray.
I would say Russell Wilson if it was.
Oh, yeah, well, definitely. I mean, you could flip a coin with any one of them three.
Yeah.
But Russell definitely played the worst of those three. I mean, Kyler Murray and Russell both got their coaches fired.
Yeah, you ever watch the video on Bleacher where they be playing? Or they got like the animated.
Yeah.
And there was John had what's the dude from Atlanta? Trey Young was getting the secrets from LeBron. How to get the coaches fired. That was some funny shit, but I would have to say it'd have to be Russell Wilson. And the reason why I just say Russell Wilson is because he played the whole season. You know what I'm saying? He played the whole season.
Kyler Murray could have played the whole season, but goddamn it,
he tore that ACL. So
late in the season.
But man, Russell Wilson kind of made his team look bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. And the franchise stuck with him because ain't nobody gonna take that.
No, no.
So we'll see.
But he got his guy. His guy.
Yeah.
From the reports coming out now, he was trying to get Pete Carroll fired so they can hire Sean Payton. So now you got what you wanted.
Right.
So let's see what you do with it.
The only difference is Sean Payton came through the door like, we ain't doing none of that outside contracting. Everybody in house. So he gonna either have to hire somebody or Russell Wilson gonna have to make some changes. We'll see. Baltimore, they still ain't worked out nothing with Lamar. Why don't they just go in and trade him, Guru? What you think?
That'll be probably the best for both parties in this situation because one thing you don't want is a disgruntled quarterback.
Right. I think my thing is if they trade him, I only want to talk best fit. I'm more so speaking of who can afford him or who is desperate enough to pay him that fully guaranteed contract that he'll be successful with.
I'm going to tell you a few good fits for Lamar. Miami is definitely one of them, of course. But Detroit is a great fit for Lamar.
Oh. Wow, I ain't never think of Detroit.
Detroit got all the pieces in place.
Literally, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, it's far-fetched because nobody looks at Detroit in that nature. But if you look at the roster with him and that running game and the receiving core, they got all the pieces in place.
And I think that he'll open up a lot of opportunity for the other, for the pieces that are there, like because of his leg work. You know what I'm saying? It's wow. That was a pretty good pick.
So if y'all see Lamar Jackson in Detroit, remember where you heard it first.
Straight up. Yeah, I agree though. They need to go out on there and trade him, man. If they ain't gonna pay him, and I don't think they're gonna pay him what he wants. They've been rumored that he was gonna get that they offer him $250 million with $133 million guaranteed. So you mean tell me $100 million of that is not he got to earn the $100 million?
Right. I think, you know, and I seen something that said he never asked for a fully guaranteed contract. But if that's all you guaranteeing him, then you slapping the man in the face, Baltimore.
Right. You ain't even getting them nothing to kind of negotiate.
Right.
You know, like, come on, bro. Like, at least make me feel like you want me to be here. All right, Guru, this question is specifically for you because I'm gonna keep my bias to myself. Who do you think San Francisco should start at quarterback next year?
Who I think they should start or who I think they're gonna start?
Who you think they should start, and then who you think they're gonna start?
The person I think they should start is the person I think they're gonna start, and that's Trey Lance. You traded too much to get Trey Lance. You did too much to get him, and I don't think that a quarterback should lose his job based upon injury. Trey Lance got the greatest intangibles of the two that's going to remain on the roster, which is Brock Purdy and himself, because they already said they're getting rid of Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so Brock Purdy, you know, it was a great story, but he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. I think that you give Trey Lance the opportunity to outright lose the job.
So, I get what you're saying, but I feel like it's almost like and I hate to use this example, but an Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick situation. The only difference is Alex Smith played more up to that point. But from watching Trey Lance the season before and this season, Brock Purdy came through the door being successful. You know what I'm saying? And much of the success that we had was because of him. You know what I'm saying?
Brock Purdy also had no pressure on being successful, because if Brock Purdy come in and play like some shit, he was Mr. Irrelevant. If Trey Lance come in and play like some shit, we traded the house to get you.
Right.
So the pressure is different and the expectations is different. So when the pressure and the expectation is different, not only from an organizational standpoint, but from the standpoint of your opponent, you prepare a little differently.
Right, but I just that's the problem of the organization. But if you want to look at just kind of finding the best player, I feel like Mr. Irrelevant is probably the best option because, number one, he got extensive experience. He played in college substantially.
I agree with that.
You know.
And Trey Lance didn't. However, they saw more in Trey Lance than they did in Brock Purdy. So what I'm saying is they're going to give Trey Lance the opportunity to lose the job.
Yeah, that's
training
crazy.
camp. Trey Lance is not going to back up Brock Purdy. That's not going to happen.
That's crazy.
Unless Brock Purdy outplays him substantially in the offseason.
It would be stupid on San Francisco to already know what you're getting from Brock Purdy and not know what you're getting from Trey Lance and look for what you're trying to get from Trey Lance, knowing that Brock Purdy has shown you the ability. Brock Purdy in that little short stretch of games has had more productivity than Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance in every possible way. The patience, the poise, everything about the way in which he played the game was a difference maker on the field in a way that Trey Lance, who seems easily rattled to the point that he ran 16 times the last game, even though I know maybe half on was actual play calls, he still ran so much. The moment the pocket come close to closing in, he's just jumping and running. And Jimmy G, he got the poise in the pocket too, but at times he was so inaccurate that some of the throws that he would make would create problems. I can say we possibly lost the Super Bowl off his inaccuracy. You know what I'm saying? So I just know that Brock Purdy didn't play a bad game.
He didn't. However, you don't take a player that you traded the house away for, right? A player that you traded the house away for and gave him the keys to the car of a team that just went to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship with the same quarterback on the roster still. You automatically just say, here, Jimmy G, pass the keys over to Trey Lance, right? Unfortunately, Trey Lance get hurt. You allow him the opportunity to lose that job. Even though we can say Brock Purdy did enough to earn the job, right? When training camp comes, Trey Lance will be the number one.
I'm just not a fan of letting the politics of the whole process.
That's what it's all about.
Break down. That's the craziness. The politics. Well, because we gave up so much for him, we want him to start
until he proved that he can't.
And listen, I could see if Brock Purdy was just managing games.
But see, this whole thing, like the whole thing is not even about Brock Purdy.
Right, you're right.
It's not even about Brock Purdy. It's about what do we have in Trey Lance? Because if we feel like Trey Lance ain't the guy, then we're comfortable in going to Brock Purdy because he already proved that he can be a guiding force to lead us in a direction that we want to go.
Now, the question is, does that help us in it, right? Because let's say Trey Lance is not who we need him to be.
Then we get rid of Trey Lance, we trade him.
But he has no value at that point. Right now, don't nobody know.
Then guess what? They got an XFL waiting for with your name written all over.
All day long. Oh, Lord, he probably ain't going to get no reps there neither. Let me ask you this. How? Let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers because, you know, he's going to darkness retreats and shit like that. How valuable do you think he is right now?
Depends on who he's playing with.
Do you think he's a Super Bowl? He has the ability to go to the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah. Not on Green Bay though.
Right. So he'll literally have to go to like a super team like San Francisco or some shit.
He don't even really need to go to San Francisco. He can go to a team like the Jets.
You think he can take the Jets to the Super Bowl?
The Jets got a young defense that's strong. They got a running back that's going to come back healthy, and they got good young receivers. Yeah.
Everybody young. The biggest problem in all of that is that everybody young.
And Aaron Rodgers adds that experience, but they're young and good.
So I look at two.
He can go to Miami
things.
And they can go to Super Bowl.
Okay, Miami, I can see that.
He definitely can go to San Francisco and they can go to Super Bowl.
I know. I look at two things that stood out. And I'm just using Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers as an example. They spoke of how Patrick Mahomes, he got a bunch of new receivers, and in the offseason, he focused on those receivers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers didn't. Aaron Rodgers was kind of doing his thing and deciding if he wanted to come back in that.
Aaron Rodgers wanted to eat shrooms and drink lean. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, it ain't nothing wrong with that.
I ain't never done it, but I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it.
I don't even know what to say to that shit. All right, the draft is coming up soon, man. The draft coming up. That's going to be pretty interesting, especially because you got the number one player from Georgia. He's in trouble right now with the law.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the Chicago Bears with the number one pick. Right now, Justin Fields is the quarterback. I heard a lot of people say that they should trade that number one pick and, get a bunch of assets for it. I heard people say that they should trade Justin Fields and get Bryce Young. What you think they should do, Guru?
Trade the pick.
Trade the pick. So, because that pick can get some assets, right?
Right.
I've seen a bunch of trade scenarios where a lot of times they just trading down 4 or 5 spots, but they getting substantial assets in return, like 2 extra second rounders and a player. You think it's worth it?
Absolutely. I don't think it's going to help them immediately, but you build around Justin Fields until Justin Fields show you that he need to be moved to running back and not quarterback.
He damn sure close to it. That's for sure. All right. Well, look, let's take our first break, man. Take a first break, and we're going to come back with some more BetMoorSports. We'll be back. Welcome back to the BetMoorSports podcast. I'm your host, Avery Fuller, with my co-host, Steven Troutman Bay, a.k.a.
The Guru.
We back at it again. We just got finished talking about the Super Bowl and some more-ish in the offseason in the NFL. But let's redirect. Let's switch it up to the NBA, because not too long ago, we experienced NBA All-Star Weekend. And while it was the All-Star Weekend and the players weren't really trying to do much, I understand, I get it. Certain things stood out. One in particular, the white boy. Guru, give me your thoughts on the slam dunk contest, and did Matt McClung do enough to etch himself in the history books?
Would you believe me if I told you I didn't even watch the slam dunk contest or none of All-Star Weekend? I watched a little bit of the game, but All-Star Weekend's kind of lost this. It's kind of lackluster. It's lost the appeal to a fan like myself.
Right.
I did see the highlights of his particular dunks, and I think, yeah, he did enough. But I've seen him do even crazier dunks. The man got a dunk package that's out of this world.
Yes, he do.
And not too many people can get in his business if he was to have a dunk contest with some of the greats. In the league now. I ain't talking about some of the greats in history, but I'm talking about some of the greats in the league now. But even in history, like he got some dunks in his package that can hold his own, and he from Virginia. So, I feel about anybody that's from Virginia.
I think it'll be good for the NBA for them to tell these players, like, yo, all the winners need to come back and compete. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a big plus. I also think that players like Kobe had a point. When it's time to play the All-Star game, I get it. Nobody wants to risk injury and things of that nature, but it's supposed to be like the
greatest pickup game in the world.
Exactly. And I think that's the difference maker. When you're watching these dudes playing and they just chilling, they ain't playing, putting no effort behind it, and it's nothing that incentivizes effort. Everything they doing is for charity. They have nothing to gain whatsoever from putting forth their best effort. I think it should be something where they should take some steps to try to incentivize these players to want to play harder.
The NFL Pro Bowl is trash, and the NBA All-Star Game is trash.
I don't disagree. Now, I think the Pro Bowl did a little better with the flag thing.
You like that?
I don't got a problem with it, because it's when you play in a contact sport, the way they play it, it's such a risk. You know what I'm saying? And when you invest so much in these players, can you imagine your superstar player getting hurt in an All-Star game or in a Pro Bowl game? Can you imagine Justin Jefferson tearing his ACL in a Pro Bowl?
He can tear it playing flag.
Right. He can, but the probability is different. You know what I'm saying? If he's playing full-fledged, full-on contact, the probability is completely higher. The chance of him getting injured is higher than it is with him playing flag.
I agree.
So I think flag gives them something to play that they can play harder at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit was trash.
It's of course it's gonna be trash, man. We football fans. As football fans, we want to hear come to boom it all the time. Just like in the NBA, we want people to get dunked on, not everybody to watch them dunk the ball. You know what I'm saying? And then you got players like Anthony Edwards and John Morant who say, "Oh, I ain't gonna be in the dunk contest." Man, listen, people look for players like them to be in the dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? When you super dunking, and I get it. It's a lot more behind it. You don't want to lose. You know what I'm saying? It takes creativity, and you might not have
and
it.
a lot of them might not have the creativity.
Right.
Right?
But consult. You
So
know what I'm saying?
if you got, all right, let me ask you this, since we're on this topic.
Okay.
Right now, NBA, today, your ultimate slam dunk contest
Of active players.
of active players.
Ultimate slam dunk contest of active players would be Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson, and I'm going to pick one more, and that would be Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown can compete with them guys.
Man, listen, I think Jaylen Brown got bunnies like them. All dunk contests really take is bunnies if you got somebody providing you with the creativity.
So why the slam dunk champ not in the conversation?
Who? Matt McClung?
Yeah, he the champ.
He barely in the NBA.
He's not really in the NBA, but he's the champ.
And listen, don't nobody want to really see Matt McClung. I mean, they might want to see him now because he won.
the champ.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think people want to see the superstars. Like, I think that's the difference. The superstars taking part in this, taking it as serious as everybody else is taking it.
Right.
And that's what stand out. Kobe and them took it serious. Vince Carter, those moments matter. Those moments made a difference. The GOAT, MJ, went up against possibly some of the best dunkers of all time.
So what about Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon?
That's one of the best dunk contests of all time.
But they're still in the league.
Right, but had it was superstar based, we wouldn't have seen that. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have gotten that because at the time neither one of them was actual superstars.
Right.
But from a dunking perspective, they up there with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like that it should be taken more serious right now. It's being taken for granted, and it's not valued. And because it's not valued, nobody's taking it serious, man. And I just feel like that's shame on them. Shame on them big time. Because it's a weekend where you can get a break, but it's not meant to be treated as a break.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they treating it like it's a goddamn vacation. I get it, but the only way to make it fun, to make it realistic, to make it appreciated, is if you get the players who are in the All-Star game to participate in the contest.
Gotcha.
Dame Lillard winning the three-point contest was substantial because it's Dame. You know what I'm saying? Dame, you look at Dame, and I ain't comparing the two, but you look at Dame and you almost see Steph. You know what I'm saying? Because of the range, because of the consistency behind where they're shooting.
So when you say you're not comparing the two, why? That's kind of a fair comparison.
Yeah, it's a fair comparison, but I mean, from a reality standpoint, it's nobody who's really comparing to Steph.
I don't know. When you say Dame and Steph, that's a fair comparison.
Dame is consistent, but think about what Dame at on an all-time three-point list and what Steph at on all. And they're solely known primarily for the three-point shot.
So Dame wasn't really known for the three-point shot early in his career.
Right. That's what I'm
He
saying.
just really developed into a three-point shooter, and he's one of the, like, if you look at the yearly stats, Dame is usually the number one three-point shooter on the top of the list for the year.
Dame is what I call a super three-point shooter.
Right. So that's a fair comparison. Like, I know a lot of people might argue, but Dame, I don't think he's been in the league as long as Steph.
Really?
I don't think so.
I thought Dame was there before Steph or around the same time, but you could be on to something.
Dame just dropped 71. Steph ain't never did that.
Yeah, but I mean, Steph, Dame dropped 71 and the rest of the team scored 44. I don't think the personnel and the Warriors support that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's a difference maker. Let me ask you this, though. Best player in the league right now.
Best player in the league right now. I don't know. It's tough, man. You got the Joker. You got Giannis. Them probably my best two.
What are the tangibles that matter the most? Like if we did a draft right now from scratch, who would you think the number one pick would be?
Giannis.
I agree. Giannis is he's a freak. Exactly. So yeah, I'll definitely go there. Let me ask you this though, because you mentioned Joker. You think Joker out here padding his stats?
To a degree, but he's great. I don't take nothing away from Joker, because Joker do a lot of stuff that I think that he shouldn't be able to do because of how slow he's doing it. And he's doing it, and it's effective. And not only is it effective and he's doing it, but they're winning. They got the best record in the West.
Right.
So whatever he's doing for his stats is not affecting his team winning. Like, I think they like 28, 29, and 0 when the man get a triple-double. So if patting your stats to get a triple-double mean we ain't going to never lose, keep doing it.
Right. I agree. It's weird that, he patting his stats, but I think he just figured something out about himself. You know what I'm saying?
But it's one thing to pat your stats when you're losing versus when you got the best record in the West.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. Dame dropped 71. Greatest game of Dame's career. What you think worked for him?
The three-point shot. Okay, his man come across half court and just pull.
He was throwing them. He had 12 threes that game?
Man had over 40 at halftime.
That is substantial, especially for a point guard. He's a point guard, right?
Right.
So for him to just, at what point was the coach on the opposite team gonna make a change, or at least put somebody out there to put a hand up? My man got 12 threes in the whole game. Like, you mean tell me it's 12 opportunities that somebody could have had a hand up and they just look? Shit is sad.
It's definitely sad. But back to what I was saying is I just looked it up. Steph been in the league 3 years longer than Dame.
Okay.
And I'm sure that when it's all said and done, Dame might not play as long. I don't know. But Dame ain't too far away from the three-point all-time list.
You sure?
And they closed the gap in maybe the last 3 or 4 years. Like, Dame is up there if you look. I didn't just check that, but I'm sure Dame, because Dame was like top of the league in three-point shots made recently.
I think Dame got a ways to go. Dame right now not even top 20.
That's in the that's in order.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that's in order because they got Steve Nash on this list.
We're going to check it out, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Most made three-pointers all the time. Shit, you got James Harden, number 3.
Is he?
Yep.
So James Harden passed Reggie Miller?
Yep. It's Steph, Ray, James, Reggie. Damian Lillard, number 6.
What's the numbers?
Dame made 2,349. Steph made 3,302.
Okay, so Steph 1,000 ahead of him.
Yeah, but 3 years ahead of him too.
Right. It's crazy. I ain't realized James Harden was in that position.
James got 27, 23. And he closing in on Ray. Ray Allen got 29-73. But just think about it. In the next year or two, Dame will be top 3.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's shooting.
Crawford on that list too.
Yeah, he number 10.
And Dame got a little less than 100 games less, or a little just short of 100 games less than Steph. So I guess that really makes sense. I mean, Dame had to average 10 threes a game.
Yeah, but it's just not likely. But just think, like I say, Dame didn't start his career as a 3-point shooter.
Right. Yeah, if he would have figured that out sooner.
Well, I guess, the older you get, the more you play, the more you can't go to the game, to the hole and score 40, 50 in the paint at that size. You know what I mean? That's just, that's a great testament to how he worked on his game.
I think it's crazy, too, that Steph reached that mark in 864 games. You know what I'm saying? And Ray Allen and Reggie Miller got over 1,300 games.
Steph greatest shooter of all times, right? To me. But the way Dame been playing the last couple of years, he ain't too far off.
Right. Dame got 100 games less, but he's still 1,000 games out, or 1,000 3-pointers out, but he number 6. He still got
So
time.
he gonna pass Reggie and all them guys in less games than than they did it.
Absolutely, by far. He gonna be beyond them in less than 1,000 games.
Right. When you think you top 6 and you only played since 2012, dude, that's a 10-year career.
Yeah.
Reggie and them played 20 years damn near.
Yeah. That says a lot. 100%. Well, some teams out here that's unexpectedly playing extremely well, Guru. The Sacramento Kings are playing extremely well. The New York Knickerbockers are playing extremely well. Do you think it's possible that there could be a New York Knicks, Sacramento Kings NBA Finals?
No.
That don't even sound right.
Not this year. It's possible, but I doubt it.
Hey.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's possible, but the chances are astronomical.
Yeah, it's too many good teams. I like my man De'Aaron Fox's attitude, though. He said he ain't scared of nobody.
He don't give a shit.
He don't give a damn who over there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that sound like a killer to me, though. You know what I'm saying?
I like his attitude, man.
Absolutely. All right. Well, look. Let's go a little off the bridge a little bit. YouTuber now. He's YouTuber. YouTuber Jake Paul took his first L to Tommy Fury over the weekend. Tommy Fury was actually the first real boxer that he actually fought. The first actual person that's considered a boxer. It's not an MMA fighter or NBA player or anything of that nature. Guru, you think that Jake Paul is going to be irrelevant from here on out?
I believe he was already irrelevant. Like, man's to me, he was a black guy for the sport. Man's not a goddamn boxer, and he shouldn't have been in the boxing ring perpetrating the fraud as a boxer. And if you're going to take the route as a boxer, then take it the same way everybody else. Like, I think it's a slap in the face to those who had to go through the amateurs and the, you know what I mean, the Olympic trials and things of that nature to get a pro career. And you just say, hey, man, wake up one day, you got 1 million followers on YouTube, and you say, hey, man, you know what?
I'm going to just
I think I'm going to be a boxer.
Fuck it. Just box.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what I mean? Why not? Nigga, Nate Robinson, you keep popping shit on my Instagram page, I'm going to knock your ass out. Say, knock Nate Robinson out. And whoop-de-doo, Nate Robinson, you ain't no business in the goddamn boxing ring. So then Jake Paul knocks a couple people out. And then he said, well, damn, I could play strong safety for the Cleveland Browns. You ain't see the Cleveland Browns sign to come out there and play no goddamn strong safety.
Boy, my man said, fuck it. He's just, and I mean, I can see he's taking boxing serious now.
Yeah, and kudos to him for that, but that's the route he should have took from the beginning.
Right. Now, one thing that do stand out that I noticed about him is he has shown a lot to these fighters. And while he is new in this game and he came in with an established like fan base and things of that nature, he's shown these fighters that you don't need the promoters to make these fights happen.
No, you just need 1 million followers on Instagram. So with that being said, look, when you see the BetMoorSports channel, man, hit that like and subscribe button. We try and get 1 million followers too.
Exactly.
I might want to be a professional football player again.
If we get 1 million followers, the guru is gonna step in the ring at 1 million followers.
Step in the ring with who?
We don't know who he's gonna step in the ring with yet. But
I don't need to step in the ring. I got Keyshawn Davis do all my fighting for me.
Well, you ain't gonna lose at that point. Man. God damn.
I get 1 million followers, I'm gonna put my money on Keyshawn Davis against any of you niggas.
Don't matter who it is.
I don't care. If I get 1 million followers.
Oh man. All right, so I got a controversial question for you. You know, we've been talking NBA and all this good stuff. But I want to know, because it was two teams who's had the best records in NBA history. The 95-96 Bulls and the 2015-16 Warriors. If those two teams met head-to-head, who you got winning and why?
The Bulls. However, if you swap KD into that lineup, I might got a different answer.
KD a part of that lineup, though?
Nah, he won't. No. He came the year after.
Okay.
That was what's the boy name that went to Duke? No, it's Carolina.
Harrison Barnes. Okay.
And that's the reason why the Bulls have beat them is because of Harrison Barnes.
Okay. So
because you look at Draymond and Dennis Rodman, they'll cancel each other out, right? Mm-hmm. Jordan is too big for Steph and Clay, right? Pippen can lock up either or, right? Mm-hmm. Jordan can lock up either or.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? But who gonna check them?
And
which one of them guys gonna check Jordans?
Not one.
Clay was a hell of a defender at that time, but he ain't checking no motherfucking Jordan.
And I think that was the point that I was gonna make, that the biggest difference in both of those teams is that the Bulls can guard the perimeter.
Right.
And while the Warriors rely on the three, if you take that three away, that three is not a simple task as it was during that season.
And the Bulls had knockdown shooters, but they want superstars. You know what I mean? You depending on your superstars to be your best shooters and guard Jordan and
right.
Hell no.
Can you imagine the fatigue that comes behind?
Exactly. Like you can't check. You're gonna have to check these people on the opposite end.
And not to mention that Draymond was the big. Like even with, I think Luke Longley was on that team. Even Luke can make his presence felt in a way beyond. You know what I'm saying? And so I just know when you got players like Dennis Rodman. Now, you said that Dennis Rodman and Draymond Green cancel each other out, but I disagree.
I'm talking about that particular year. Like, no, they're similar players. Neither can shoot for real. Mm-hmm. They both just do the dirty work, rebound, and things of that nature. I think actually Draymond might have been better for his team than Dennis Rodman.
I disagree with that too.
The reason why I say that, because a lot of times they let Draymond bring the ball up the court and make Steph and Clay play off the ball. Dennis Rodman won't doing that. You know what I mean? That was Scottie Pippen's role, to bring the ball up the court. But it kind of takes Dennis Rodman away from the rim.
They need Draymond to do that because Steph and Clay are catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference.
Steph not really catch and shoot. Steph would dribble that bitch pass half court and pull.
Yeah. If he gonna dribble pass half court and pull with Jordan Gardner.
If Jordan ain't that motherfucking half court ball, you better pick him up at half court, Jordan.
But I think the other thing is Jordan and Pippen, they can take shots and know Rodman gonna get that rebound. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Rodman was a pest. in a different way that Draymond tried to be Rodman, in my opinion.
Right, but Draymond is a pest too, and I would have loved to see them two go at it because I know it would have ended in a fight.
Oh yeah. Dennis Rodman was
7 games with Draymond and Dennis Rodman head to head.
Bro, that would have been entertainment.
I'm talking about the ultimate level of entertainment.
Gosh. Man, that would have been fun to watch. I just can't see any other asset on the Warriors team that would have been enough because it was number one. The Bulls shooters were role players.
Right. That's why I'm saying. So they gonna be always fresh to shoot.
Exactly.
Because they ain't exalting a whole lot of energy nowhere else.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think that year they had Ron Harper.
And he a big guard.
Right. And I feel like he was underestimated. Because
underrated.
What'd I say? Underestimated. Yeah, I meant underrated. Yeah. Because he was definitely like when I used to watch him play and felt like he played like Jordan. Now, not skill wise.
He might have played like Hermano.
Okay, that's a great comparison, straight up. But it's just even then, when you look at that Warriors team, there is nobody to keep up.
No, it's not. Like that Warriors team, they ain't even win the championships. I don't even know why we talking about them.
Well, I use them because they 7-3-9 team versus 72-10 team.
They ain't win the championship though. They ain't sealed the deal.
Yeah. They pulled the Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Tom Brady played the Giants, so you gotta expect that.
I mean, now when you look at it now, but that time Tom Brady with Randy Moss, man, ain't nobody.
Giants with Michael Strahan.
Giants was 9-7 that year going to the playoffs.
Super Bowl champs.
Man, oh man! I'll tell you one damn thing. It's always better to think about what it could have been.
Right. The most important thing at the end of each season, whether it's the Final Four or the NFL championship or the NBA championship, the Super Bowl, World Series, is the team that hoists the trophy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can be 99-0, but if you don't walk away with that trophy, then sucks to be you.
Let me ask you, on those teams, was there anybody up there that was like in their 20s, maybe 20? The youngest player, you think the youngest player on the Warriors or on the Bulls was 20?
In their 20s?
Yeah, like early 20s.
Steph and them was kind of young. All of them was young. They still young.
Yeah, they still young. Steph 34.
Exactly. So you thinking, what was that? 2015.
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
Yeah,
Clay was in his 20s. Draymond was in his 20s.
Man, let me ask you this question. Serious question. And throughout your life, if you could go back and have a conversation with yourself at 20, what would you tell yourself?
At 20, be careful of the people you keep around you. At 20, I was probably one of the most kind-hearted, most giving people. And a lot of times, people take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I was also rather dangerous at 20. So a lot of times, I didn't know whether people were around me because of what I had or because of the fact that they felt safe around me. And both of those can be dangerous because you don't know a person's true intent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So just be careful of the people that's around you and focus more on, kind of who you are.
Right. I think at 20, I made the most mistakes, right? I had a lot of money coming in, and kind of like you, I was just giving it away.
Right.
I didn't care. It was money. And not only that, but I my thought process was different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't taking school serious. I was looking at that quick money, and then I was just kind of living day to day. So it was just like whatever. whatever happened tomorrow happened tomorrow.
Right.
And I think if I would have took it a little more serious and, picked up that entrepreneur spirit and built something that could have lasted, and then took school a lot more serious, then I think that, my approach to life would have been a little different.
Right.
So,
See, my big thing was just my attitude at the time. My temper at the time was just bad, and I didn't respect, or I didn't have an appreciation for authority.
right.
Right. See, as the older you get, the more you understand that it's not even about respecting the authority. It's the appreciation to have somebody that cares enough about you to be an authoritative figure.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that goes for parents and principals and teachers. Like, I had no respect for authority. And if I could, go back, I would show more appreciation to those people, man, for trying.
Right. Right.
Because a lot of times they ain't had to.
You're right. And they really try. Like,
Right.
People really put forth that effort. And, I realized that a lot of the lessons that we learn them throughout the journey that we go on. But I think a big part is, like, my kids, I try to make it a point to teach them because I didn't have nobody there teaching me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you mean, nigga, I taught you.
And you just said that you had the worst fucking attitude.
But I ain't want that for you.
But
I wanted you to be better than me.
Listen, I was a big part of that protected section. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy to feel like I'm good no matter what because I'm protected. You know what I'm saying? So it's a long journey to get to the point of maturity that we at now. But
Right.
We got to get there, and I think if we can coach our kids to try to get to that point sooner, then a lot of the decisions that they make yield a different result. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, man, listen, Guru, it's been a good show. You know what I'm saying? We've been had some really good conversation here, especially with all the circus series things that's been taking place in the NFL and in the NBA. But the NBA season is winding down, so we got a lot going on. And with that said, we're going to be looking forward to sweating with the Guru.
Hey, speaking of sweating with the Guru, man, how many of y'all actually want to sweat with the Guru? I'm going to start making videos where I give y'all the best late night games to play according to the information that I break down, according to the numbers and according to all of that. It might not be on the top plays. It might be on the top plays, but it's just going to be all late games, West Coast games, whether you up early in the day and you trying to double up or you down and you trying to get back. I'm going to give you those plays, and then I'm going to go live and we're going to sweat these games together. So in the comments, I want to know how many people want to sweat with the Guru.
Sweating with the Guru. Hey, listen, that's going to be real interesting because when he's sweating, bro,
you might hear some things that you might not, you know what I mean? And I know it's going to be some dudes in the comments talking shit, but just try to keep it respectable, man. We all trying to get you. What I'm trying to do here is get you some money. If I don't do nothing else, I'm going to get you some money. So even if it ain't my best of the best, it's going to be information that I studied and put my heart and soul into trying to get you a winner.
Exactly. And you better believe sometimes my man pop off with Tourette's when he's sweating them games.
Right. And if you talk a lot, enough shit, understand that I will ask you to send me an address or location. I'll pull up on you. I mean, don't get too disrespectful now.
Let's keep the disrespect at a minimum.
At a minimum, man. We working together, man, you know.
Straight up. At the end of the day, get money. Get money. With that said, we are out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll holler at y'all next week. Guru in the Swami next year.
Football season, we back.
You better believe it. We are out of here. Tune in next week. BetMoorSports. Peace.
Till next time. It's your boy Steven Troutman Bay, a.k.a. the Guru with BetMoorSports. You know I'm pushing parlays 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But if you have a problem gambling, call 888-532-3500. And always remember to drink responsibly.